Hi YouTube, I'm back again and I have a little bit more information, and today's date is September the 6th and it's 2014, and I had to make this video because I was on the internet. You know, I'm always on the internet and I'm always looking for information that can help out myself and anybody else who is a targeted individual, targeted in this way that they're targeting me, which is just awful. So I'm always on the prowl on the internet, you know, to find as much information as I can where I can help myself or anybody else. And I happened to come across this page, and I don't even know if I'm going to give you the page because I don't know who put this page up there. I don't know who's behind the page, even though it has excellent information and stuff. I'll give you as much information as I can from off the page, but then if you can Google it yourself and find it, because I'm not going to big up anybody's page and big up anybody's channel or anything like that, because I really don't know anybody's agenda. When I'm speaking to you, I know my agenda. I know who I am and I know my agenda. These people that do other videos or whatever, or who have pages and stuff, I don't really know their agenda. I don't know who they are. So I'm not going to really give you a page name or anything like that because I don't know who they are. But anyway, I came across this this information where they was talking about these people that do this gang stalking, the ones that actually are organizing it and the ones who actually do it, and they call them black ops. That's what they call them. I never heard that word before. I never heard the word black ops, but evidently that's what they call themselves when they do this. And they say they call them, and they what they have on here is why you should not work for the FBI, SID, black ops, psych war, mind control, mind reading, and or gang stalking workers. That's what this page was saying, why you shouldn't work for these people. Okay, so that's why I say I'm not giving you the page, because I don't know who even put this page up there, and you don't even know really who is really involved in this stuff. You know, it could be FBI, it could be any agency, or it could be none of those agencies. It could be corporations, and then everybody's trying to put the blame on somebody else. So I don't want to put the finger on any one agency or any one person, because I don't really know who's behind, who was doing this and who was doing it. Basically, to me, I have ideas on who I think it is. I know some of the people, but I can't tell you for sure, you know, like who really is behind the brunt of it. I can like give you ideas on who I think it is, you know, according to when they broadcast. And here I recognize a lot of the voices. That's the first thing. I recognize a lot of the people that are doing the actual broadcasting. I recognize their voices. So that's why I will tell you the people that I know of. But then I don't know who's behind them, because like I said in previous videos, a lot of these people that are these so-called organizers and stuff, and they organize other people to actually walk out and follow you when you go somewhere. They're following you on the street, or if you drive your car, they're in caravans and following you in caravans. A lot of those people, they themselves are targeted individuals. You won't hear them say that because, okay, they're in too deep, so they can't say anything. And that's exactly what this page says. This page, it goes on to say all of the things, like, in other words, this website is dedicated mostly or basically to us, people who are targeted. It's dedicated to us, but then they go on to even have a page for the people who actually do the gang stalking and the ones who are organizing it, to tell them why they shouldn't do that. Okay, so that's why I had to make this video. Okay, so what they said, they have like all these different numbers from 1 all the way down to 46 reasons why these people shouldn't be in these black ops, as they call them, or as they broadcast up in here. They broadcast that they're psych ops and they're psych operatives and stuff. But let me just read a few of these things, what they said. I have these on my I'm looking on my iPad. Okay, they say okay, it says this is number 21. They say avoid being corrupted or compromised by black ops. Okay, And I guess the black ops are the ones that are over them, undercover or psych ward workers. Because if you accept cash or drugs or free sex from black ops or undercover psych ward workers, you get corrupted or compromised. It is harder to oppose psych wars later, when it might get a lot meaner and you'll want to quit, oppose, or stop. Okay, so this is the actual people that do the gang stalking, the ones that you see that are out there walking around and following you, and they're on buses and they're on streets and they're doing street theater and stuff. And then the ones that actually sit down in a room somewhere, maybe they rent out a house or whatever, and they put them in there and they put the headphones on them and stuff, and they give them computers where they can press buttons to buzz you as you're in your home, because that's what they have been doing to me. They have been doing it non-stop, and I was just so ill and so sick, and I still don't feel that well, because I do have some medical problems that give me problems from time to time. And with all the zapping that they're doing, all they do is make it even worse. They make anything that I have even worse. The few problems that I do have, and considering that I'm past 50, I'm almost 60, so you get ill when you get older. You get things wrong with you. You get like high blood pressure and stuff like that. So that doesn't make that doesn't make matters, it makes matters worse. It doesn't make anything better. Okay, so that's one of the things they said. And then they said they talked about them in these rooms and all the things they do. Well, let me just go from memory a little bit, because this is like a little bit more like let me see. Okay, all right, here's number 33 says it's an increased risk of injury, disease, drug addiction, or even death. I've seen 2 presumed psych ward workers claim they were physically injured. I heard claims that other psych ward workers have HIV/AIDS, and I've read stories of at least one presumed psych ward worker dying in a psych ward hit when he rammed his car into a targeted house and his gas tank exploded on impact. This is the things that happen to these people that actually do this gang stalking. They think that they're coming out to get you, but plenty of times they themselves get killed or murdered or something like that. And then it says also risk of losing or not getting a regular pension in a timely manner, and risk of eternal damnation, and that's from God himself. That's from the Almighty. Okay, and then it says the risk of eventually being sued. What else they say? And then they said, by the way, one way to CYA here is to anonymously cause as little trouble as possible. I don't know what that's having in all caps, CYA, I don't know what that means. Another option is to buy business or employee liability insurance. This is what they're telling the people that are after targeted individuals. This is what they're telling them they better do, because you never know when you're going to go after the wrong person and go after them, and that person snaps and pulls out a gun and shoot and kill you right on the street, or shoot and kill several of the people who they think are bothering them. And then they even further went on to say on this same thing, I think it was this, because sometimes I read a lot of things and then everything just kind of get pulled together, and I'm not sure if I read it on this one or another page, but they said that that the reason why they have started this this gang stalking type thing, and why they go after mostly a lot of older people and a lot of older black women that are like over 45, because they figure that people in my group are the least the least dangerous, according to what I read, that we're the least dangerous. Like, okay, they figure we're not going to go out and go and get a gun and like shoot off 20 people, so that's why they don't start with a lot of people who they think could come back at them and could maybe kill some of these people when they send out these gang stalkers, because everybody is not going to be so nice. Everybody is not going to be so nice when they feel as though people are targeting them, and they're targeting them in their house, and you're trying to sleep, and they're shooting you with these electronic weapons, and you're getting, you feel all of these feelings all over your body, and you feel heated. Your whole bed is heated, and your back is hurting and everything when they do this. All right, everybody is not going to be as docile and not do anything. You have people where they will immediately go out and purchase guns, and if they feel as though, or even if they think in their mind that you are a part of it, they'll just kill you. Okay, so that's what they said, why they're starting with women that are my age and, like 45 and up, because they figure that my population of women that's in those age groups, they figure we're the least dangerous, and that they figure, okay, well, we won't go out and kill none of their ops and all that kind of stuff, and we ain't gonna try to get guns and shoot them and different things like that. But you can't speak for everybody, because everybody is not the same. Some people will go out and purchase guns, and they will go after people who they think are doing stuff to them. Okay, and then it went on also to say that these people who do this PsyOps, they are brainwashed or they're desensitized to evil and electronic harassment, psych ward, devil shit, as they call it, and stupidity. Also mind control, groupthink. Then they also say they have lack of privacy, lack of ability to keep personal secrets, possible lack of time off. Some black ops and covert ops, mind control, beam weapon, psych ward workers work up to 16 to 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And then they said on number 40, it says, you are often not, in all caps, paid for work, even if you are promised to be paid. Some psych ward workers make their own claims, well documented or not, that they are owed back pay for many hours of unpaid labor. Working unpaid hours is normal in psych ward, and they spell it PSYWAR, meaning that's them coming up against people like myself, unlike almost any other job. Okay. Then they also, I went down to a couple more, I think this is number 42, they say you have emotional burnout from emotionally draining work, alienation from work, apathy, lack of motivation, inner conflict, potential feelings of embarrassment, guilt, and or regret if you are not zapped, mind control, and or high on drugs. Burnout. I have heard this complaint at least once from a young psych ward worker where they didn't pay me enough for this. That's quote unquote. They didn't pay them enough for that. So you figure these people who are doing this to us and who are organizing this, and they're sitting somewhere in a room on a 16 to a 24-hour shift, 365 days. That's why they beat it so much, because none of them have wives, none of them have any kind of meaning relationship, they don't have kids, they don't have anything, because if they had all of this stuff, they wouldn't even bring them in for these types of jobs. They wouldn't even tap them for these types of jobs. They want the ones that don't have wives, that don't have girlfriends, that don't have boyfriends, that don't have kids, that don't have anything, so that way that they can hold on to them. No way can they say, oh no, well, I gotta take my kid to the, for their shots or whatever, I have to take my kid in, or my wife needs this, or my husband needs that. No, they don't want to hear that, because if you're gonna be working 16 to 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, you can't have none of that kind of stuff. You can't have no husband, and you can't have no wife, and you can't have no kids. So that's why they're so angry. So that's why when they're zapping me, probably other people that they do this to, this is why they're so angry, because they don't have any personal life. They have nothing, and most of the time they don't even get paid. How's about that? So this ought to give you people that are targeted individuals, this should give you something to smile about, and something to laugh about, and something to clap about. They got less of a life than we do. Okay, because it even went on to say on here that and I'm just going to go from memory from what I did, because I just read the whole page on this, that not only do they not have any kind of life, okay, but also they said that they the people that are over them, the ones that are actually sitting and pressing buttons, that where they're shooting you in your homes, and they set them up close to where you live, or if they can get them into an apartment up underneath you, above you, or whatever, so that they can shoot you with these electronic weapons. They said the majority of them are also shot with weapons too. That's to give them the incentive to go after you. So they go after them, that they go after you, us, the targeted individual. Okay, so that should make most TIs very happy. Okay. And then it says they have emotional burnout from emotionally draining work, because you figure say you are one of these PsyOps, or as they call themselves in here, they I think that's what they call themselves, or in here they say Black Ops, or PsyOps, whatever the hell they are. Just imagine that you're going to sit into a room and you're going to make tapes telling the person how bad they are, and saying all kind of evil, wicked things to them, and telling them they're this and they're that, and oh, we're going to kill you, and you better not do this, you better not go outside, and you're this and you're that, because they have some pretty horrible things that they say in my surroundings. Not say, but broadcast. They broadcast all kinds of stuff into my surroundings and say all kind of hateful things. So imagine that you are this person that has this job, and you have to say all of that stuff. Would you think that stuff doesn't affect them over time? That you could sit there and listen and watch a person while you zap a person, and watch them squirm, and watch them move around in their bed, watch them get up and walk around. Would you think that don't affect them? I don't care. You would probably have to go to some sort of school or something, some kind of retrainment of the mind or whatever, before you could do all of this to a human being and it doesn't affect you in some way, shape, or form. So all of this stuff, I don't want to hear anything from them where, oh, well, it doesn't affect us and we're doing something good and we're doing this and we're doing that. No, you're not. You're not doing anything good. Okay, none of you that are Black Ops and Psych Ops and none of those things are doing anything that's good, because you know what? Chances are they're doing the same thing to you in order to get you to comply to do what you're doing to us. So you're getting the same thing. That's what they call it. They call it a, let me see if I can find the word. It's like a second something. But anyway, they say the psych war work is a terrible environment to raise children in. You know, you figure you are using weapons that is like basically to go after the enemy, but according to them, we're the enemy, because these people who they get and pull into this thing, they said they have like a cult mentality, and what they do is they brainwash them even further to feel as though what they're doing is right and good, and that anything that they do, okay, they're doing this for their country or whoever it is that they tell them that they're doing this for. Okay, they feel as though what they're doing is right and correct. Okay, and then it says, let's see. Oh, I hear thunder outside. Something rain or something. Oh, let's see. Okay, they say also, all right, here, listen to this one. This is number 30. They say the risk of being fired or laid off. This is the people that actually zap us and do all of this stuff. The risk of being fired or laid off. Okay, however, psych ward workers can sometimes find a new employer to pay them for their psych ward work. Okay, and then they say risk of being arrested and or jailed. Okay, because they say, and they say, for your information, mind control beam weapons are allegedly sometimes illegally used to zap cops to avoid arresting psych ward workers, to zap judges to avoid convicting psych ward workers, and or even zap judges to free already imprisoned psych ward workers. Okay, and then it also says, number 32 says, a slightly increased risk of being zapped to death with a heart attack, zap, or other lethal zap, presumably intended to intimidate, frighten, injure, and or even covertly kill a targeted individual. Okay, so they themselves could be zapped and could be killed on the spot, because you figure if you have a tier system and it's tiers of people, and you've got somebody at the top, and then you got somebody up underneath that person, then another, and another, till it comes to us, the targeted individual. Well, you figure they have to keep those people in line. They can't have them just doing what they want to do, because you figure any one of them at any moment of any day could go out. They could get on TV, they could call a press conference, and they could say, okay, this is what I was doing. I was paid by X, Y, and Z company or X, Y, and Z person, and they paid me money to be somewhere or to be in an apartment underneath someone, and I was zapping them, and I was using electronic weapons to zap this person, to intimidate this person, to torture this person. So it could come out. It could be on TV. It could be in a book. It could be anywhere. So just imagine that you are a gang stalker and you have all of this to deal with. So figuring us, the targeted individual, we're not doing things like that, so we don't have to deal with that. The only thing we have to deal with is to keep our sanity and to do the best we can in spite of what they're doing to us. They have to do that plus a whole host of other things. Okay, so this right here goes out to anybody who is a gang stalker, who is a psych op, who is a black op. You fools ain't even getting paid. You are working 16 to 24 hours a day and your ass ain't even getting, well, excuse my language, your ASS ain't even getting paid. Now how does that feel? And you could get fired at any time, or you could be jailed, or you could be charged as a criminal and go to prison for a long time. How does that feel? How does that make you feel? Okay, because I know it makes me feel good to know that you because it's strung out and you on meth and you on this and you on that, because that's what it says on this page, that most of them, in order to work these 16 to 24 hour days, because once they tell them that they have to work that amount of time, what they gonna do? Say, no, I ain't gonna do it? No, they would zap them and make them do it. So they get on meth and they get on drugs and they get on heroin and they get on all kinds of stuff so that they can stay awake to keep a 16-hour shift. You think of yourself as a normal human being, and if somebody automatically or told you that you would have to work now a 16 to a 24-hour shift instead of your regular 8-hour shift, okay, how would you do that? Okay, what was you gonna do? Drink 2 gallons of coffee every hour? No, a lot of them get onto drugs, so they get addicted to these drugs. So these people that are doing these psych ops and doing this gang stalking, most of them are drug addicts anyway, because those are the ones that they want. But I said I had to get on here and tell you about that, and that I was so glad to hear this. You know, I'm not really glad to know of any human suffering, but when human suffering comes about by the things that you are doing that are evil, then okay, it's a good thing. Okay, put it that way. But then when I was reading the same page, it even went on to tell us, because it even have, you know, like different pages about stuff for us, the targeted individual, like things we can do and like how you can protect yourself and all kinds of stuff like that. And then they tell you these places, pages to go and where to buy different things to protect yourself. And then they were saying that what you should do is to find out as much as you can of the people who you think or who you know personally to be involved. Okay, well, I told you in other videos that I used to work with some of the people who were targeting me. Like I used to take care of this elderly woman, and her kids were targeting me. It was 2 in particular. I didn't think that one was doing it, but now, okay, the sky's the limit. He might have been a part of it too, but she had 2 sons and 1 daughter. They live in South Philadelphia. Okay, and I told you in another video, I told you their names. The daughter name was Natalie and the son name was Rich. And these 2, definitely, I know that the 2 of them were gang stalking me, and, you know, just saying hateful things to me and doing hateful things. And I hear their voices in here broadcasting. Okay, so I know they're a part of it. So when they said that that you should try to find out as much as you can and then keep, like, you know, like a book with any information you find out about these people, I said, okay, well, let me just look. So I Googled both of their names, and guess what? They came up. They was on Facebook. The 2 that I was talking about, Adley and Rich, both of them was on Facebook. And like, I'm thinking, because they're always in here, because I can recognize their voices, they're always in here broadcasting saying that they work for the CIA and they're CIA operatives. So when in this year of our Lord did anybody that worked for the CIA undercover or any of that kind of stuff, why the hell would you be on Facebook with your face and you all up there smiling? You should have seen it. She was on a picture with her dog. she got the hand all like this, and she all smiling and stuff on there with her old stink dog. And she used to always want me to watch her dog. I only came over there to watch her mom, and then she would have the nerve to bring her dirty dog over there and expect me to watch her stupid dog. And I'm like thinking, they ain't paying me to watch a damn dog. But I needed a job, so I did it. Okay, I needed to keep a job, so I wouldn't interact that much with the dog, because I'm not a dog person. I'm a cat person. I like cats. I don't really care for dogs. But that's what she used to do. She used to bring her dog over there and want me to watch her dog. And then she would go and like take her mom out, and they would go out and eat or something like that. And because they were supposed to be so rich, because they used to be acting as though they was like wealthy and like they had a lot of money. And like, oh yeah, we got houses and we got this. They ain't had no house. They had like the mom had a little 2-story house, and it was very small, very closed in, and you felt like you was in prison when you was there, because it was a teeny tiny ass house in South Philly. And the daughter drove a hoopty, so gang stalking don't pay that much. And now, since I know they working 16 to 24 hours a day, and they ain't getting, most of the time they not even getting paid for those all them hours that they putting in, I see why she had a hoopty. And her brother had a hoopty too. All three of them. It was 2 sons and a daughter, and all 3 of them drove hoopties. And they was always talking to me and trying to act as though they were so rich and I was so poor. And every time she would see me with something new on, like this one time I had on this pair of shoes, and I didn't get the shoes from Payless, but okay, it's all good. I don't have nothing against Payless. I shop in the Payless. I've shopped in there and bought shoes out of Payless, and I've bought purses out of there and all kinds of stuff. I buy stuff. I used to buy things out of there for my grandkids. So what's wrong with Payless? Nothing. But I had on this pair of shoes one day, and she had the nerve to say, "Oh, I seen those shoes. I seen those shoes in Payless." Well, I wanted to say, well, B, how would you see them in Payless unless you was in there? Was you in Payless? Because see, she would say things like that to try to put me down and try to make me feel bad about myself, because I was doing that kind of work, like companion work, but she didn't have a job. She wasn't working. I guess she was doing gang stalking at that time, but I didn't know about it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know any term. I didn't know anything about organized stalking or anything. But her and the mother and the brother, those 3 used to try to put me down and make me feel bad about not having a lot of money. And there's no shame in being poor. If you poor, you just poor. That's all there is to it. I don't have any kind of shame in telling anybody that I'm poor and I don't have money. But then you do have a lot of people in the world where they feel as though it's some sort of shame or stigma attached to it, and there probably is. But okay, that's just the reality. If you're poor, you're poor. If you're not poor, you're not poor. There's nothing shameful about not having a truckload of money, because most people don't. There's only a few set of people that have a lot of money. Everybody else is somewhere up underneath that, and you working every day, and maybe you got 2 jobs. Maybe some people might have 3 jobs to make ends meet. That's the norm. Okay, when you see these people and they driving around in these fancy $300,000 cars and stuff, that is not the norm. That is outside of the norm. There's only a small percentage of people that actually have that kind of money. Most people are working people, and they're working to make ends meet. That's what they're doing. But to hear them say it, they used to try to make fun of me, like I was poor. I don't know where my phone is. Y'all gotta excuse me because I heard my phone. But anyway, somebody texted me on my phone, but I'll get to it later. Let me just finish my video. But I wanted to tell you about one time, this same girl, she asked me if I could come over, and I think it was either Thanksgiving or Christmas. I can't remember exactly what it was. It might have been Thanksgiving. And she was like, because you would get time and a half if you worked on the actual day. So she was like, did I want to work, and so on and so forth, and she was going to cook and all this kind of stuff, and they was going to have this big meal. So I was like, ooh, snap, that's what me talking about. So I'm thinking like I'm going to be eating all this good food, and then I, came and worked instead of being with my family on Thanksgiving. I said, okay, I can make, I think it was double time that you got. And so I did it. Let me tell you something. She was in there walking around and stuff, because I worked with her mom. So she came over and brought the stuff over to her mom's house. And and she's down there walking around and stuff, and I'm like thinking, oh, it's gonna be all this food. But I was noticing the whole time I ain't smell nothing that smell like no food. But she was walking around like she was doing something. She was acting like she was Giotto or something like that. Giotto, that woman that cooked on TV. That's how she was acting, like she was her. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we gonna have some good food, these some Italian folks, and they throw down when they get ready to make food and stuff. And you see the housewives of New Jersey, and they throwing down, they making all kind of stuff. When they eat, they have wine and all kind of stuff. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have this grandiose meal and dinner. When she called me downstairs to eat, she had a piece of tomato on a plate with a little bit of oil drizzled on the tomato, and that was the food. That was the dinner. Then when it got time for her to give us something to drink, she had this cheap bottle of wine. That's what she had. A bottle of wine looked like church wine. That's what it looked like. It didn't even look like wine that you get in the store. She must have stole that from a church or something, because it was cheap. It was cheap wine. Because I'm thinking, okay, well, I know she probably gonna throw down with some good wine if she gonna open a bottle of wine. It was like some Thunderbird or something like that. I was so shocked. In a piece of tomato on a doggone plate. I will never get over that meal until the day I die, because the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe I came and stayed at this woman's house, and instead of being with my family and worked and just to make some money because I needed money, and this is what I get for a Thanksgiving, a piece of tomato on a plate. That's what you call a meal? But this is how they operate. This is how this woman and her kids, that's how they are, because they was always trying to act like they was rich, and they not rich because they was poor. She was always saying that she was going to her house, and they had a house at the shore. Come to find out, the house belonged to the lady that lived next door. That's why her mother used to ask me to pick up the lady trash can on trash day, because the woman was old and craggly, and I guess she couldn't come outside and pick up her own trash, and I needed the job. That wasn't in my job description. I didn't have to do it. But then she could have said, okay, well, then she could get somebody else, and that was steady work. I was going there like I would sleep there for 3 nights? Yeah, 3 nights. So it was steady work, week after week after week. Because if you didn't, then, sometimes they would get you something, maybe a day here or a day there, the way the agency was when I worked with them. So that was steady work. So I just went ahead and did it, because I said I need a job and I need money. And she would always ask me to pick up the lady trash when they, finished with the trash and stuff, and they picked the trash up and they just put it up on her step. So that's the reason why she asked me to do that, because they was using the woman's house, and she was trying to act as though it was her house, and that they had a house at the shore. They didn't have no house at the shore. And this goes out to you, Natalie, and your stupid brother Rich. Y'all didn't have no house at the shore, and the house at the shore belonged to the lady that lived next door to you. And y'all is poor, and there's no shame in being poor. So stand up and be counted, and stop trying to act like you rich, because you not rich. Just because your name is Rich don't mean that's what you are. But that goes out to the two of them. But getting back, I don't even want to waste a lot of time on them. I figured I had to get on here and make this little video. I'm watching my time. I'm already up to like 30-something minutes. I gotta watch my time. I talk too much. But anyway, I just wanted to tell people that are targeted, just know that a lot of times the people that are pressing buttons on you, that are zapping you and stuff like that, guess what? They're being zapped. So it's like a secondary targeting. So it's like a twofold targeting, instead of it just being one person being targeted, you, me, the targeted individual, the person that's doing it and zapping you and doing stuff to you. Guess what? They're being targeted too, to keep them in line and to make sure that they target us correctly. Okay, so you can go to sleep good tonight and think about that. And that also goes for people who are gang stalking. None of y'all mofos ain't getting paid. Not near one of y'all is getting paid, because ain't no way you gonna have no kind of system like this to set up where they gonna bring in a gazillion people and have a gazillion people walking on buses and getting on buses and walking around on the street, because everybody gotta get paid. Okay, so that's why none of them don't get paid, and all they do is they will stalk them. So they know once they get in, once you accept the first dollar from them and you become a gang stalker or a psych op or a black op or any of that stuff, guess what? You can't get out. You have sealed your fate with the devil. That's what you have done. So that goes out to all of you folks that are the psych ops and the black ops. Guess what? Y'all can't get out, because if you get out, they will stalk you too. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to stop it now because I'm up to like 34 minutes. And just say to everybody, I hope everybody's doing well. And thanks to all my new subscribers and even my old subscribers. Thanks to y'all, you know, for being on here and supporting me and coming watching my videos. I'm very glad, because I just put up a video the other day of me in walking in my neighborhood, where I showed you some stuff. Like, they got this thing on the back of my wall where I live, this big thing, and it's got like all these wires and red and black wires and stuff, and you know, that's electric stuff. So I know it's not cable things, because cable things ain't red and black like that, not to my knowledge. And it's just on my building alone. I walked around and looked at a lot of buildings. I didn't see that thing on nobody else's building, just on the one that's right up underneath where I live. And I mean, I got a couple of views on there already, and like within the first hour or so I had put it up, I had like about 10 or 12 views. So thank you very much for viewing my videos. Okay, so in closing, I would like to say, keep God close to you, keep him here, because this is where he belongs. Keep him right here and hold him as tight as you can, because we are in end times and his coming is right around the corner. So you have to be introspective and look into yourself and do the right thing. You have to come back to him. If you have stepped away from God, then you need to come back to him, because you don't have a lot of time. You don't have 10,000 years, like how you'll hear some people say it, like, oh yeah, well, we might be in end times, but it's like another 10,000 years, and oh, you don't have to worry and stuff. No, you don't listen to them, because the Bible clearly states that in the twinkling of an eye is when he will come, because he could come in the next hour, in the next day, in the next week, and you don't want to be standing on the fence somewhere and get left behind. Okay, so all I'm saying is that keep close to God and fear God. You must fear him. That is the first step into really knowing him, is to fear him. And a reverential fear, not a fear where your teeth are shattering and cracking and stuff like that, and you're so nervous and so scared. No, a reverential fear and awe, to know that this entity created you, me, and everything that's down here, that there is a supreme being that created all of us and everything that's down here. That is where your fear comes in, and your awe, to know that, as the Bible would say, you don't fear the one who can kill the body, but fear the one who, after killing the body, has the power to send that person to hell. That's the fear that you want, and to know and to love God and to put him first and foremost into your life. Okay, thanks, and come back again and come and see more videos, because I enjoy your company and I love you all, and I consider you my friend and my family when you are subscribed to my channel. So come on back and see more videos, and I'll see you in my next video. I love you. Bye.